Hello and welcome to another edition of the Big Freaking Friday Show on the College Football Mafia Network. I'm your host, Nathan Bomber Brown. With me are my partners in crime. Yes, it is a crime to sit down here with you each and every Friday. That would be the Wild Ute and
What's up?
Moen wearing his dapper black and whites today. We zebra under the shelf there, Moen.
That's right. Little rock and roll on a Friday night.
I love it. I love it. How are you doing, Ute?
Doing great. Happy Friday to all. Can't wait to get into our topic here. And I can't wait to get into the CSC aspect of our topic on tampering.
Hey, I can only say I can't wait, and I'm going to turn you loose, you on it, actually. But first, I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. This is the Big Freaking Friday Show. We kick around here. We're usually talking about news of the day, certainly news of the week. This week, we are officially out of college football time, and we now have 5 months of just misery and death on our horizon as we look into this off season. I guess it's what is it, 7 months? Gosh dang, you can't come fast enough. But we're welcome all of you here with us tonight. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. Get involved. Leave us comments or questions. Send us those DMs. We pay attention to those things. We definitely try to listen and pay attention to your thoughts and ideas as they come across. Certainly during the off season, there's a bunch of those, and we can't wait. And we want to invite all of you to participate with us. Certainly, we hold our breaths whenever these ideas come up. And certainly tonight, will tantrums, lawyers, and contracts end tampering in college football? Boy, it's just sort of teed up there. Before I turn you loose, Ute, I want to thank everybody for being here with all the weekend as we are a week before the Super Bowl. And yes, the Seahawks are going to be winning the Super Bowl next weekend. But what are you guys' thoughts about the Super Bowl as we have this little bit of time before we get to the game next weekend?
I'm a bit surprised the Seahawks are going to sell the team right after the Super Bowl. That just came out.
Oh, you didn't know
So
that? Yeah, that was.
I didn't know that. No. So that's
Yeah.
interesting. I think the matchups, it's a fun one. A
Uh-huh.
blast from the past, right?
It
I think
is.
the Seahawks, I'm going to be rooting for the Seahawks. So I think it's going to get done. Seahawks
I
win.
love to hear that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You want to come over for a Super Bowl party, or are you going somewhere else?
We're going to be tied up, but yeah, we're
Okay.
going to be rooting for the Seahawks.
Brats. Well, that's good to hear. How about you, Mo? And you're an AFC guy. What are your thoughts about the Super Bowl next weekend?
I've met Mike Vrabel a couple times. He's a good dude, and
Nice.
so I'll be rooting for
Cool.
Mike Vrabel and the Patriots. So
He seems like a pretty down to earth guy.
he is. He really
kind of hard
is.
not to like Mike Vrabel.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah. He's a really good dude. So, yeah, I'll be rooting for Mike Vrabel. But on the flip side, if JSN wins,
Yeah,
the Super
for
Bowl,
sure.
just another in the long line of pedigree wide receivers from wide receiver U, Ohio
It's
State.
true. Ohio State has turned into that, hasn't it? It's been pretty crazy before. It was smash mouth linebackers and safeties, and now it's linebackers and receivers. Either way, you're going to get good players when you talk to drafting Ohio State grads, right? Well, if not grads, players.
And by the way, I've got a little something new here.
Oh,
You.
what is it? Oh, that's new. Purple.
This
Purple
is
Crown
new.
Royal?
This is
Okay,
Crown Royal
nice.
Marquee. This is just in the Ohio market. I have
Okay.
not tried it as of yet. It is Crown Royal aged in rum cask.
Wow.
What? So
So
Crown Royal. That's now we're talking about that's whiskey, right?
that's Canadian
That
whiskey, the finest
Okay.
in Canadian whiskey.
Right.
And it is aged in rum cask. It's much darker
I'd
than
say,
obviously
yeah,
Crown Royal. So let's give this
yeah.
a swig and see what we think.
You go for it, brother. I'll leave that to you. I want to thank everybody else for being here tonight. We are going to be talking about the news of the day and the week. This week has been just craziness when it comes to tampering, not tampering. If you're not cheating, you ain't trying type attitudes. I'm going to give you some time to sort of go off on the CSC idea, because you and I are a little bit different on talking about enforcement as we talk about rules in general in college football.
Yeah, I like rules. I like that football has 4 quarters. I like that football has penalties and downs and rules, so we can actually follow the game and the structure.
Okay.
I like rules in life. I like everything. I like the fact that you can get a speeding ticket if you're going 200 miles per hour like Georgia players do. I like the fact that we live in a society that has that structure and the boundaries to say this is acceptable and this isn't.
Okay.
And everything in my life basically lives by that structure. The only thing seemingly out of that structure is college sports universe at the moment. So seeing college sports universe be so out of control with pay for play, even like rev share, it's difficult to see, because I want the game to grow and I want it to be a good product. And I think over time it's going to erode. It's going to be the net result in my view of it. While it's very popular now, I think that interest will wane if this isn't capped in, and I don't want the sport to turn into some just controlled by billionaires. Like, that's like straight up. And so I really want to see success from the CSC. The CSC, the College Sports Commission, is the body that's been put into place by the Power Four conferences to supposedly regulate third-party NIL and rev share. And the CSC, it was founded like, what, a year and a half, 2 years ago, has got a lot of pushback from attorneys because of a variety of factors, like how are you going to regulate an industry in which you don't have formal contracts and employees, yada, yada, yada. I don't give a crap. I just want some boundaries in place, guys. That's how I see it. So I would love to see the CSC have a little bit more teeth and punish schools for going outside the boundary lines that were established and agreed to in the House settlement case. Because there was an agreement made, there was a settlement made that's been broken, and it's not being abided by. And so if you want to frame it in that way, it's cheating when you're tampering. It's cheating when you're tampering. It's cheating when you're tampering in the frame of the settlement that everybody agreed to. 100%, like it or not, that's how it is. And like, you can soften that up saying everybody's doing it, I don't care and stuff. It's this or that. It's cheating. And so I want to see the College Sports Commission succeed, and I want to see them come down hard on schools for going against the agreed upon structure. I would love to see it, actually. If SMU is going to get the death penalty 40, 50 years ago for giving $10,000 or $20,000 to players and everything, give the death penalty to schools that want to just go outside boundary lines and just spend and spend and spend and just ruin the sport over time. I don't give a crap. I'd love to see it, actually. Give them the freaking death penalty, after all I care. I want to see that. I want to see the death penalty again. I would love to see the death penalty again. So I'm supportive of the CSC. And so I think that just to show my support of the CSC, a couple things here to notice. So anybody out there, I'm sure that a lot of our viewers and stuff have heard of many things going on in tampering world. Just be aware, the CSC tip line phone number is right here. Wildview has provided you, community, with the CSC tip line. If you see something, this is legit. I'm not kidding you guys. This really is on the website. So check it out. So if you see something that you believe is tampering, messing with somebody's roster, or paying them too much rev share, too much pay for play, NIL, whatever you want to call it, call that number. And if you don't want to call that number, that's fine and stuff. Let me guide you through something else, okay? So we can also look here at, one second. Here we go. It's not going to work, guys. I've got the CSC website. I was going to go actually through how to file a report on the CSC.
Oh, okay.
We don't need to go there. Tip line's right there. That's the
Okay.
gist of it. I want to see structure in the sport. I want to see it bad. I don't want to see a sport go to pot like it's already going. And I just want to see more competitive balance with the boundary lines and making the sport great, like an NFL structure, like something that says we're not just going to have uncapped costs. It's just not how the world works. And so that's my support for the CSC.
So this is the link that you shared with Moen and I
Yep.
in the green room before the show got started. I will share the link so everybody can have this. Do you want to kind of run everybody through what this report is?
Yeah, I mean, like it's something the CSC is doing. They're investigating LSU over potential unreported NIL deals from the transfer portal that just happened.
Yeah,
Guys,
it's not going to let me bring up the main page. I'm sorry.
This is really the gist of the conversation, though, right? I mean, LSU reportedly spent how much on this roster in the transfer portal? Like, I've heard anywhere from possibly $30 to $50 million. I heard that stuff on transfer portal players. They have a bunch of them and stuff, but that's what we're talking about. Like, and if you're trying to stay within the bounds of what true name, image, likeness is,
right?
Like Sam Levitt, for example, how much is Sam Levitt truly worth in commercial licensing opportunities, advertising in Baton Rouge? Is he worth $10 million? Is he worth $7 million? No, he might be worth $150,000 at most, right?
For real, tangible, concrete. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah.
And so here's the thing: the CSC is going to investigate LSU. They're going to find blatant findings saying, "Oh my gosh, like you've been paying really thousands of times over true NIL value, maybe hundreds of thousands of times and stuff. This is a huge issue. This is a violation." But here's the problem. What's going to happen next? There's no teeth to this. So there's no punishment. There's no enforcement. There's no death penalty. So it's just going to be like, don't do that again, guys. And everyone's going to laugh at them. This reminds me of going back to like the Connor Stallions Michigan stuff. Just, we might we'll suspend your coach for a game or two after he's blatant cheating and stuff. But it pays to cheat in college sports now. I hate it. It pays to cheat. It's got to stop, guys. It's got to freaking stop. It started with Michigan and all that garbage. And now this is what's happening next. This whole thing with blatant cheating and not following the settlement guidelines. And I just want to see some action. I want to see it get stopped. I want to see some rules get enforced. It's got to happen sooner or later if we want the sport to thrive. This would not work in the National Football League, guys. Just imagine if this stuff were happening in the National Football League, how crappy of a product that would be. It's the greatest game on earth is the NFL. I love college more, but the NFL is the greatest game for a reason. It's because of the structure. This sport needs it bad.
I would agree with you. I'm going to just, so everybody knows, I shared the link to the College Sports Commission site. Let's bring up, just so everybody can see what it looks like. Share this tab instead. So they do, in fact, have a webpage called the College Sports Commission. I posted the link in the comment section. And let's just read about its little charter here. It says, it's a new day in college sports. Schools across the country are now able to share revenue directly with student athletes. Student athletes have more opportunities than ever before to financially benefit during their participation in intercollegiate athletics. College sports have a clear path forward toward a bright and stable future. So Moen, you've heard Utes first as we get into this. This is going to be an all 2-hour show talking about this. What are your thoughts coming from a school that's a blue blood that hasn't had to fight for a lot of the access that they've gotten they didn't earn 80 years ago?
Here's the problem. The CSC only works if everybody works together. That's the fact. And there's teams that still have not signed on to the CSC agreement. So even if one team is out of the CSC agreement, there is no teeth to the CSC. You're right. There's no, what are they going to do? Inflict punishment?
Right.
And the school will just go, no. $20 million fine. We're not paying that. No.
Yeah.
And then if they say anything and, they're just going to go, well, Texas Tech isn't part of it. Why is Texas Tech not part of this? Why is Texas not part of this? Why is Texas A&M not part of this? So the CSC really has no teeth. Congratulations on them. for finding these NIL deals that are not or underreported or not reported. I'm very happy for them. They've done a good job at doing it, but it's like basically being a cop that can't arrest anybody.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It's good.
Show up,
Community cop.
show up, do an investigation, reach your conclusion, know who the criminals are, and then get in your car and go home.
Yeah.
And that's what CSC is. It's you can't have one without the other. You've got to be able to have enforcement. And until the CSC is empowered by everybody, you're never going to have enforcement. So congratulations to them. Like I said, great job finding these underreported deals. Good job. Are you going to do something about it? No, because you can't.
What a waste of money, though. Like the CSC's hiring multiple
millions
positions,
and millions of dollars.
Like what the freak? Like I mean, like what a waste of money. Like if nothing's gonna result from this, it's an absolute failure. And just go away with it and stuff, and go move on to the next thing. Because like it's being held up by these schools, especially in Texas and everything. So I don't know how that changes, all the politics and everything else. And it's not in their. Why would they sign it, guys? Why would they sign it? If you've got billionaire oil tycoons in multiple places, why in the world would you sign it? You've got a competitive advantage in an industry. Why?
Well, the only way it's going to change is if you ostracize those teams. And I don't know that people are going to be willing to do that. I don't know that people are going to be willing to not schedule Texas or not schedule Texas A&M or Baylor or any of those public schools in Texas.
Where's the political will to sign it? There has to be a downside. They screwed up in the very beginning by not negotiating all this stuff in at the beginning. It should have never been to a point where they could hold out at all. They should have been all forced to participate, and if not, then you don't get to play football with everybody else. The original sin is that it wasn't set up correctly from the beginning, and now we have a crippled system that has almost no, in fact, has no enforcement mechanism. And I don't know, now that everybody sees what the other side of NIL will give them, what's the incentive for anybody to sign the deal at this point? I think Ute's got it right. I don't know that there is going to be a position where anybody decides they're going to opt in to curtailing their own chances of winning a national championship. I can't see a reason for anybody to do that, especially now that you've seen Indiana be able to pull it off without having the biggest NIL budget in the world. It's going to be very difficult, if not impossible, to get anything signed now.
I agree. I really do. And like, the state of Texas, if you're a politician in the state of Texas, why in the world would you not support these schools? I mean, like you're winning. You got two. I mean, look, Texas, like they're right there on the edge of the college football playoff every year. Texas Tech all of a sudden has gotten in. They're projected to get in again. Like your state is getting notoriety in football that it wouldn't have otherwise. That is a disincentive right there for a politician in the state of Texas to say, let's just give the CSC some teeth. So it's a serious issue, right?
Yeah.
It's never going to happen. Like, unless, and really, like, that's why we've talked about this, like, Big Ten and SEC pull away. Because basically that's how you make it happen. You neuter the system and say, look, Texas Longhorns, that's great and stuff. You won't follow anything, but hey, we're pulling away and stuff. And if you guys don't want to be in this league, you can leave. And then we're going our own separate way. We're taking our ball and stuff to establish some rules because you live in a rogue state. And so that's exactly the leverage point. And that's exactly what's happening, guys. And like that might need to happen to change the system, which completely screws the Big 12. Screws the Big 12.
Yeah, it does. It's true. There's no doubt about it. Let's do some shout outs and then we'll get more into the story. Outlaw Skies, first in the house. Good to see you here, man. Outlaw Skies is a valued member of the College Football Mafia family, saying first in the house. Go Buckeyes. Wants to make sure he gets that in. Daniel, the other Gygax, checking in, saying hi, everyone. Happy Friday to you, Daniel. Jose in the house saying, unfortunately, I found my soaked pants in her mother's bathroom. Oops, wrong chat. I don't know what that
Jose, No, you have to come back. I need to know this backstory on that.
It's Jose,
You-
and I'm not sure you're going to get it out of him.
I need to know the backstory.
Bob Swinger checking in says, "Hey, hi Daniel." To be very clear, hi Daniel. Good to have you here, Bob. Thank you so much, representing not only the College Football Mafia family, but also the Penn State Nittany Lions. Larry, the GM. It's been a minute, man. Where you been? We've missed you. Good to see you, Larry, the GM, representing the Texas Longhorns, saying howdy, Mafia. Good to see you, Larry. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Buckshot Kid, always first in our hearts. Oh, hey, at the College Football Mafia. Good to have you here. Anthony Manzano saying, yo. And then out of nowhere comes Moen, a gifted membership from the Ricky Indiana Hoosier Tungate. What's up with that?
Ricky Tungate is still feeling the celebratory vibes from that national
Yes,
championship,
sir.
and he has gifted a membership to Michael Tamez. I hope I
Let's
pronounced that
go.
right. If I
Let's
didn't, I'm an
go.
asshole. But congratulations, Michael Tamez. You are now a member of the College Football Mafia. Thank you, Ricky Tungate, for gifting that membership.
And how does anybody else give the memberships out, Moen?
Membership, leave a super chat, leave a super sticker, or become a member by clicking the little cash icon underneath the chat window. That cash icon is your access to helping the CFP Mafia keep the lights on, keep the stage set up, keep me in zebra print clothing.
Yes.
Royal Marquee, which is, by the way, you can do that all through the little cash icon. Click on that cash icon and follow the steps. It's easy as 1, 2, 3.
All right, very good. And pay it forward. If you have received a gifted membership, pay it forward. Give somebody else one, and you will get good luck back. I'm pretty sure all good things come to those who are unselfish and give themselves. We appreciate you around here. Thank you so much, Ricky. A couple back-to-back comments here from Anthony Manzano. For me, I don't think tampering exists because the NCAA is way too weak to enforce anything, because they've been sued into oblivion to the point where they don't want to get involved. They and Duke really has no leg to stand on when they tampered with Darian Mensah when he was at Tulane in the middle of the season to convince him to come to Duke. Thoughts on that?
Don't tamper with players if they're on a roster. I mean, is that too hard? Like, why am I trying to recruit somebody else on a roster that's like enrolled in someone else's school? Can't there be some something, guys?
Yeah.
Something?
Did he have a contract at Tulane? Because I know he had a contract at Duke, and Duke ended up getting paid for Darian Mensah. So I don't know what the contract situation was at Tulane. Did he have a contract with Tulane for his NIL rights?
I have not heard.
He had a 2-year deal with Duke, and he left in the middle of it. And, if there was nothing wrong about that, why did you pay? Why settle? If you've done nothing wrong, why settle?
You know what, guys? I'm just thinking through this. Okay, so maybe the point of the CSC, maybe this is the route that they're going to go. Maybe it's just digging up all the evidence, the dirt on multiple schools. I'm looking like the Ross Dellinger actually came out with a tweet that says several schools are under investigation, including LSU, right? There's one Big 12 school that's under investigation, one Big 10 at least. So there's multiple schools under investigation. If you dig up so many violations and the thousands and thousands, that's so clear and blatant, which it is, of course, maybe you take that back to the settlement room, like the actual settlement, the house settlement room, and saying, this is not abiding by the structure of what we agreed upon, and you blow that deal up. And you have to renegotiate a settlement or just get screwed. I don't know. That's a leverage point that you might want to play, though. Seriously, like if you try to get more teeth, just take it back and say this is not being agreed upon by any of the terms that were set forth, and maybe try to get some other type of settlement agreement in place. Maybe that's the point of the CSC, just to acquire evidence for that type of support.
Maybe. Maybe. Who honestly believes it's going to be the first school that gets up hit? It's not. It's going to be the second or third school that gets hit with tampering. They're the ones that are going to end up getting the big stick. I think anybody that's coming out here at the beginning is just setting a marker, but somebody's going to get hit and hit hard. Then at that point, does it survive a lawsuit?
Yeah. That's
I don't
maybe
know.
what you have to risk to change.
Yeah, I think you may. Maybe.
I think at that point, if the CSC has no teeth, you have to form something that does have teeth. And if it takes the Big Ten and the SEC pulling away to accomplish that, that might be what you have to do.
Except those are the schools that are doing the most tampering, Owen. I mean, LSU is no small brand.
I completely understand that, but I think LSU hasn't denied what the CSC said yet. If you actually read the Ross Dellinger tweet, a lot of these have been resolved just by the CSC saying, "Hey, we know this is wrong," and then them communicating with the CSC to make it right.
Right.
But I think you're going to find schools that are just look. There's schools out there that are just not following the CSC. They're not going to take part in anything CSC related. If the CSC sends them a notice, they're going to crumple it and toss it in the trash. And I'm tend to be with you. I think the only way around it is you're going to have the most powerful schools, the most powerful conferences pull away and say, we're not doing that anymore. And if you want to do that, you can't be playing us. So,
Yeah, I don't know. You're talking about
I
enforcing
don't
the
think
same
that goes.
schools that are
I
complaining.
don't think that goes for every Big 12 school, by the way.
No.
I don't think that goes for every
Right.
ACC school, by the way. I
Right.
think they would still schedule schools that are complying, but schools that are not complying would just be pushed out, pushed to the side, and not scheduled. And I don't know, but you've got to do something. You can't have cops that can't enforce laws.
Yeah, I don't know. It's who has said that the schools that aren't breaking the rules, or the ones that are breaking the rules, are the white knights? You know, you get LSU and Ole Miss, and I'm not saying this is them, but I mean Florida and
Well,
Indiana and Purdue. I mean,
the Ole Miss thing is interesting because John Canzano came out this week and said that Fresno State, a wide receiver from Fresno State, has evidence that Ole Miss was tampering with him.
Yeah.
And it was supposedly direct evidence. I haven't seen the evidence yet, but that would end up being two players. We have direct evidence of an actual school, an actual employee of the school. That is tampering.
And they're both from the SEC.
And they're both Ole Miss. Ole Miss tampered at Clemson, and Ole Miss
LSU is not. Anyway,
well,
I get what you're saying. All I'm saying
the LSU thing is about undervalued NIL deals. I'm talking actual tampering, where they're going out and telling players, "Come join us, and here's what we're going to pay you, and here's a contract, and look at this picture of the contract, and all that stuff." That's Ole Miss, and I think if anybody's going to have the hammer dropped on them, it needs to be Ole Miss at this point.
Okay. Becky Go Huskies checking in. Good to see you, Becky. Thanks for being here tonight. Becky's a member of the staff around here at the College Football Mafia family. $2 super chat saying petition for Ute to be the rule enforcer. You want to be the rule enforcer, Ute?
You know what? I would be really a really good, sneaky, nasty ad for the CSC guys. I'm just telling you guys, it'd be a pretty good fit with my background and everything. So, hey, you never know what could happen. You know what?
No, certainly don't.
Stuff,
Might get
we'll see.
Look him up. He's in the yellow pages. You can find him. The Wild Ute University. Find him online. Another one from Becky, $5 super chat says, just remember the guy who wants to destroy conference media deals is telling Texas schools not to sign.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. There is no white knight. There are no white knights in this whole story. Nobody is perfect. Nobody's perfect.
It's just like who's like the dirtiest of all the crumbs, right?
Yeah, maybe.
This guy's
Yeah,
the dirtiest of all the crumbs right here.
maybe.
Cody
Yeah,
Campbell, baby. The dirtiest of
maybe.
all of them.
I don't think so, but I get what you're
Yeah, I
saying.
do. I think everybody
All right.
thinks so.
You know what, Cody?
Shonsky, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna play a sounder.
Go ahead. Yeah,
Here
play
we
a
go.
sounder for Becky.
You saying you can't control your bitches?
Pimpin' easies. Oh, sleazy. Pimpin' easies. Pimpin' easies. Pimpin' easies.
You tell them.
You wanna give both Becky and Ricky sounders for their schools?
For their schools. Yeah, I think Ricky would appreciate a little Ute magic here.
Okay.
Straight up, you guys are getting screwed.
And a husky? Want to get a husky in there?
Let me see the siren.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go. That's a good one. I love it. I love it. Take me back. James Fitzgerald saying howdy from Texas. Good to have you here, James. Hopefully you made it through the week. The weather wasn't too bad on you. We're hoping for. Let's see. We'll keep going. More shout outs. Jackson Johnson in the house. Good to see you, Jackson. Voice of college football in the house. Next week, I will be with Mark Rogers, and we're gonna have Bob Thompson on for an hour. We're gonna ask him all kinds of questions, some good college football coverage and news and TV viewership and other things, realignment we might touch on. That will be this coming week. Can't remember if it was Tuesday or Wednesday night, but we will be here, and that should be a fun show. Good to see you, Jackson. What's up, College Football Mafia Nation? Thank you so much. Let's see. Get to some more. Try to get as many new ones. Stormy Cyclone in the house. Good to have you here, Stormy. As Jesse Ventura said when he was wrestling, win if you can, lose if you must, but always cheat. Is that a quote from Jesse Ventura? I don't remember that, but I believe it.
Yeah, but you've got to do it in a Jesse Ventura voice.
Please do, Moen. Please do.
Win if you can, lose if you must, but always cheat, Mean Gene.
That sounds, I like it.
Mean
Gene Okerlund. Boy, oh boy, take me back. Stormy Cyclone, thank you so much for being here tonight, man. Long-standing member of the College Football Mafia family. Dave's here checking in, saying when you don't involve the players, employees, in an income-limiting organization, it will end poorly. I tend to be on Dave's here's side. I don't think that anything that the CSE or anybody else puts in game or in play is going to make any sense or have any teeth until the players have some representation.
I understand that. I would just push back and say it's so outside the bounds of what true NIL is. It's there's a fundamental problem with the philosophy of this pay situation, no matter what, employees or not. Guys, NIL's name, image, likeness for your branding, not for pay for play. That's the core fundamental issue that's going on. And so that needs to be hashed out. And that doesn't involve anything about employees or not. If this was just true NIL value based on valuations, there'd be no issue. There really would be no issue at all. But it's become pay for play and fake NIL. That is the core issue to me.
Mo?
You know, this is a tough one. Because, I mean, we're either going to have a CBA, which case you're going to have to throw out the NCAA completely. That model goes out the window. Now, what are you going to do? You're going to have a CBA only for revenue-generating sports. So then you need the NCAA to still run basketball. Oh, no, you can't take back. You got to take basketball out of it. You're going to need a whole new system. You're going to have to tear down the house and build a new house. And that's going to be the only way that you can do it with the CBA. Otherwise, if you stick to what we're sticking to and we're not calling them employees, you can keep the NCAA around. So I think that's a question we need to ask. Do we tear down the NCAA and put up a new institution? Or do we just live with the CBA and we just all accept the lie that they're not employees?
Mute.
It's just amazing. Like, it kind of parlays into another article or just a tweet that we should pull up and talk about, because this
Yeah,
is the
please
next shoe
do.
to
Go.
drop.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see here. 1 sec here. Let's pull it up. Yeah, this guys, this is so not surprising. This is the next shoe to drop. You guys see this at all?
Yep, we can see it.
All right, so the title of this is an ESPN article. Former Charlotte Hornets, that's in the National Basketball Association, the NBA player, and UCLA standout Amari Bailey is making plans to return to college. Let me say that again. Former Charlotte Hornets NBA player is making plans to return to college. He is the first player who has played in regular season NBA games to push for college eligibility. So he is going through the legal process of trying to sue his way into going back into college after playing professional NBA basketball for multiple years and in games. Guys, we're talking about having no structure with the CSC. This is just more evidence of it and how sick the game is. And it's just too bad. Like, I would just push this ball even forward, this idea. If there's going to be no rules in college sports, then why the heck should you have any eligibility rules at all? Why are 4 or 5 years? These guys, a lot of them aren't even going to school. As Carson Beck said, like, why in the world? I think the next shoe to drop outside of what you're seeing here. So what I see with this, if this lawsuit is going to get pressed in, if he ends up going back to school, that will open the door for all players that are on a practice squad or anybody else that has eligibility, that was a professional athlete that could still play in college ball, to move back into college. I'm serious. That's exactly where we're at, guys. We're here. We're freaking here. What the freak are we doing? We're here. It's insanity. And so that's where we're at with it. I would just press that ball forward and say, why in the world is a 4 or 5 year commitment all you should play? Why can't you play college football for 25 years? If you can't make more money in the NBA or the NFL because you're not good enough to play at that level and stuff, why not just stay in college forever? That's exactly what will happen next. Like, this isn't even college football anymore. It's not even college related. There's no class. There's no nothing. It's just pay for play at the wazoo. It's freaking a cluster mess. I'm fed up, guys. I just want to show this and just see how insanity for no rules in place right here. Got to change.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw, I don't know if it was this report or if it was a different report from a different athlete, but this is just the tip of the iceberg. We're going to have to fight off these from guys who weren't very good in the pros, frankly, that are coming back and want to get paid more money to play against guys, a third their, 2/3 their age. I mean, it is for basketball especially, it's an absolutely broken system. Go ahead, Mon.
And why, seriously, if the NBA and the NFL are going to have caps, why doesn't Texas Tech just offer Patrick Mahomes? Like, why don't you offer him more money he's making for the Chiefs? Maybe he'll go back to college, guys. Like, you think that's funny? Really? I'm serious. Like,
well, they can't. There's no way they
guys.
can offer. They can't offer. I get what you're saying. I get the analogy, but Patrick Mahomes is a bad example. They're not going to be able to pay Patrick Mahomes what he makes in the NFL and with his sponsorships.
He's almost done with his NFL career. He played at Toledo. I'm sure Toledo can muster up like $1 million NIL offer and stuff to double what the Chiefs offer is.
I wouldn't be so sure about Toledo offering that, but another school.
Definitely.
But here's the point again: the NCAA amateurism rules. What is an amateur? If we make them employees, they're no longer amateurs.
Right.
If we're allowing pros to come in and play, and they're going to sue the NCAA to do it, that also eliminates amateurism. The only way this works, is to get rid of the NCAA. It has to go away. either we have to accept that they're amateurs, which I don't think lasts forever. You can only believe that lie for so. It's a beautiful lie, but it's a lie that we all agree upon. But that's only
It
going
may
to last.
go away anyway. The
Yeah, it's only
NCAA
going to
may go
last
away
so
anyway.
long. So what do we
Yeah.
want to do? Do we want to keep anchored to the NCAA for the next 10, 15 years fighting these court cases, or do we just blow it up and start over? For me, blow it up, start over.
Yeah, I
Big
think
10,
we're-
SEC lead the way.
Yeah.
Big 12 join in. ACC join in. You just get a Power 4 situation. They form their own governance. They
Yeah.
set their own rules. They have
Yeah.
their own CBA. That all schools will have their own salary caps. Whether if they want to be a part of it, they'll have to have a salary cap. And we'll go from there. I just think the NCAA is too. It's at this point it's antiquated. It really is. It's antiquated from the amateurism rule. That amateurism rule is what this guy is directly fighting against. He's saying I can still be an amateur and go to college and play for NIL, and because I'm not technically an employee, I'm still an amateur.
Yeah,
which is bullshit. It's 100% unadulterated bullshit. But they've set it up this way. So what do? I think you have to tear it down.
Well, what is an amateur anyway?
That's my point. What
somebody
is
that
it?
doesn't an
I
amateur is somebody that doesn't get paid to do like a primary sport. That's not their line of like primary work.
It's not their
Amateur is like,
profession.
Yeah,
it's not their profession.
maybe.
Guys,
it only takes 1 year of $1 million to all of a sudden my job changes to whatever you want it to be. I don't know that should be the standard. I think if we're going to make a standard, let's make it have to be around maybe an income amount or some other way to distinguish whether you are doing it just for the money, or are you doing it to participate in a long-term vocation? Because they're not always necessarily the same thing.
Right. Like it's complicated, guys.
Yeah,
Right, but
it is messy.
Your head spin.
It is
It's
for
make your head
sure.
spin.
Yeah, it does. I think what Moen said is exactly right, and I think you just continue to reinforce it. At the end of the day, I've been not a fan of the NCAA for a long time anyway, but it had to do more about rules enforcement and everything being equal on the basketball side. It had nothing to do with football. The only reason football even exists in the NCAA sphere is so that they could enforce recruiting violations. Stuff like you have to show up to be a student, and now those things are completely blown away. Carson Beck telling us that he hasn't been to school in 2 years, sort of pulled the facade away from whatever that is supposed to have been the last several years. So at the end of the day, if we're going to just have an organization backed up by a university, so I'll just use BYU. BYU has a professional football team. It's a semi-pro level of athletics. If we all say it out loud, it's a lot more healthy than everybody using these nuanced rules or distinctions, trying to sell people on something that is an absolute falsehood, and that is that they're not out there to perform. These guys want to win a national championship. To do that, you have to make money to do it. Your program has to be successful, otherwise your program would fold. You don't have enough money to even operate. Whatever it is, we just need to say it out loud and own it, and then move on from there. And instead of this continuing to hide behind some archaic rules that aren't being enforced now anyway.
It seems like there's like just a trend, and I guess this is my deepest fear because I love college football so much. Like we do this, guys, and we have our community. We talk about football topics because we freaking love it. I love college football. I'm just so concerned that it's turning into AAA baseball and like AAA football. And like every move that you're seeing, it points me in that direction where it's like it just gets farther away from like the actual core purpose of the university.
Yeah.
You guys aren't even going to school. You're getting paid a ton. Like, and I would have to ask myself, like, if it gets to a point, like, why am I watching AAA when I just watch the NFL?
Yeah.
Like, what's if it's not going to even really be connected to my school anymore, and the guys aren't even going to show up and stuff? Like, I'd rather just watch the NFL and I'm not going to watch AAA. Like, I just want to know that and stuff so I can figure out, should I invest my time around the school that I love? Because that's my association with it. It's my tribe and everything. But if it's just going to get more and more desegregated away, guys don't show up. They don't give a crap about the University of Utah. And like, that's for everywhere, not just Utah, but that's just the nature of the game for a lot of the players. Then what's the freaking point of it? Like, just split the names and stuff and call it AAA, and then you guys, good luck and stuff, because that's the way that it keeps moving. And if it goes that direction, it's going to destroy the sport and the revenue machine of the sport, because it's going to lose the affiliation with the schools itself and what made the schools things great. So you're basically breaking your own foundation down. And that's exactly how I see it moving. With no rules, that happens quicker.
I agree with you. Moen, any last words before I move on?
Listen, I think, again, the Big Ten pays their share of the House media or House settlement. The SEC pays their share of the House settlement. The Big 12 will pay their share. The ACC will pay their share. And then just be done with the NCAA. And then you just move on. They're trying to walk this middle path that just doesn't exist.
Yes.
And eventually, you know, you're going to hit that spot where you're going to fall off. And you're going to crash so much harder, just instead of tearing it down right now. Let's move on. Big Ten, SEC, the Power Four form their own governance. Everybody agrees to it. If you don't agree to it, you won't be part of it. And then, you know, we move on from there. And then I know we're cutting out the G6, and I'm sorry to hear that we're cutting out the G6, but, you know, at the end of the day, you can't have, I suppose you could invite the G6 to be a part of it as well, but it's going to be tough. You're going to have to give
charity.
You're going to have to give most of the governance to the Power Four. And most of that governance is going to go to the Power Two, which is the Big Ten and the SEC.
Yeah.
But that's the only way I see around it, is you have to build something new. And just, I mean, I don't know how they get through the House settlement, but just pay it off. Pay whatever money you owe, get it done with, and then just say, we're not part of the NCAA anymore. We're part of the National Athletic Association of Power Conferences, and this is what we're doing. We're doing a CBA with players, so we're not finding ourselves in the situation that we found in with House, but along with that, we're putting eligibility requirements on there. If you want to sue us, go ahead and sue us. We're putting it right in our charter and bylaws. That way, we have a little stronger case if we have to go to court.
Okay. Stormy Cyclone, $5 super chat. He says, I would like an opinion from all three of you on why the CFP stayed at 12 teams. Don't hold back. My answer quickly is, it was the stupidest idea, and it pisses me off, and I freaking want to break it and throw it through the grist mill and come out with the other side, have nothing but small microscopic pieces, and I want to take everybody on the committee and just wring them with my hands, just totally tell them that everything that they put together is broken and it needs to be torn down and rebuilt. The CFP is a corrupt system. It's very set apart for the few and far between. And if you're not part of the two, you are on the outside looking in, and the whole system's broken. And I could go on for hours, and I choose not to. Ute, how about you?
Okay. All right. The 12-team playoff, the fact that we're moving into the 12-team playoff in this year, there's no certainty in sight into 2027, given the timing of when that decision needs to make for the 2027 year, is it's just a fail, guys. It's like, you just basically are along for the ride. Like the Big 12, the ACC, everybody else is basically getting ragdolled by the Big 10 and the ACC. Whatever they want, you're going to deal with the ramifications of. They're the big dogs. They're showing it. They've got the power. They've got the influence. And so right now they're just playing a little bit of selfish bully ball. Both of them are. The SEC wants 16 for their reasons. The Big 10 wants 24 for their reasons and stuff. And they won't agree. They won't collaborate. They won't do anything for the betterment of the game because they're focused on them. It's all about the Big 10. It's all about the SEC. Forget everybody else. It's about us. We're just looking at our tribe here, and we're going to freaking suck everybody else dry and kill them. And so it's about that. It's about two entities, organizations, conferences that just wanted all the power. They've got it. They're influencing it. They're bleeding. They're wielding their power in ways that are really detrimental for everybody else. The Big 10 right now kind of reminds me of like Sauron from Lord of the Rings, the Eye of Sauron and everything, and like its sneaky, deceptive way of just killing everybody and trying to take over all the control of the world. The Big 10 really is the Eye of Sauron. And I don't even know what metaphor for the SEC, but I see basically that. And the Big 10 itself is gaining more and more influence with the money, with the NIL money. They will grow. They will get better. They already are the most influential conference. They're going to grow bigger and get more influential. And that's going to be worse and worse for the entire sport because the Big 10 cares about the Big 10 just like Sauron cares about Sauron. That's what I think of it.
Couldn't agree more. Mullen.
I couldn't disagree more. There was already a 16-team agreement in place between Greg Sankey and Tony Petitti. It involved automatic qualifiers. Greg Sankey's ADs fought back and said, no, we don't want that. And once his ADs fought back, Greg Sankey flipped the script and said, oh, I don't want that either. Well, at the end of the day, you went back on your word to Tony Petitti. You said you were going to support this model, and now suddenly you don't. So the Big 10 tried to make a compromise. Big 10 said, let's move it to 16 now, but you acknowledge that in 2 to 3 years, we look towards a 2014 model.
Which is what we supported here. We supported this.
Greg
move.
Sankey was absolutely adamant against it. He said, no. 16 teams. That's what benefits the SEC most. 16 teams. So there was an original agreement for 16 teams. Greg Sankey walked back on it. The Big 10 was willing to give them 16 teams for a few years, provided they looked at the 2014 playoff, that they agreed to move towards a 2014 model. The SEC said no. The Big 12 getting blamed for this is ridiculous, or the Big 10 getting blamed for this is ridiculous. This is purely on the SEC. If Greg Sankey didn't have the right to go forward and say, I accept automatic qualifiers, that's on Greg Sankey and the SEC, because he clearly agreed to it until his AD started kicking up a fuss about it. If he really wanted to compromise, he would say, okay, let's look at towards a 2014 model moving forward in the future. He didn't want to compromise. He wanted 60. He wanted everything his way. Everything his way. The Big 10 offered a compromise. He didn't want to hear it. So this all falls at Greg Sankey. This all falls at the feet of Greg Sankey. Greg Sankey can pout and moan and whine all he wants and point to the Big 10 and say it's not fair. This is on Greg Sankey. And ideally, let's be honest, the 16 team favored the SEC anyway. They've shown in the last two 12-team playoffs that they no longer have the ability to win a national championship. So Greg Sankey's solution is to throw numbers at it. If I can get 7 teams in the playoff, I might have a shot at a national championship. The Big 10 got 3 teams in the playoffs this year, gentlemen, and they won a national championship. Sometimes it's not quantity, it's quality.
I have a question though. Like what really, if you were just going to agree to 16 and with the idea of going to 24 in the future, why was that such an issue? If everybody wanted 16, you could have gone to 16. You could still get to 24 in the future. Why not just agree?
Well, you couldn't get to 24 in the future. We wanted an agreement that they would look towards 24 in the future. The SEC
I know.
would not
Why
agree
does
to that.
you already have that year to year anyway, Moen? Why do you have to have it explicit? I think is
Because
what
you
does
have
that
to.
point is.
Why do you have to have it explicit? This is exactly
Yeah.
why. Because Greg Sankey had signed on to the AQ model, and then went back on it. So that's why you need Greg Sankey's signature on something. Because if you don't have a signature on it, like I said, you cannot spell snake without Sankey. He's a
But
snake.
you're already reviewing the contract every year anyway. I mean, it was
Right,
the
but you need to have
distinction.
something, and you have to have something in writing. Otherwise, Greg Sankey will just say, "No, we'll stick with 16." Well, you said that you would do that. Well, I said I'd do that, but I didn't do that.
I'm not
Greg Sankey.
defending him. I'm just saying there is, to get to 24, you have to go through 16 anyway. So why not just agree to 16?
I agree you do, but that's exactly what they did, Nate. They said we'll do 16 for a few years and then move to 24.
Okay.
And we just want you to agree to that, to look towards the future being 24. And Greg Sankey said, I won't do that.
So Greg Sankey said he will not go to 24 ever?
Well, I don't
Apparently-
think I've heard. I don't think
I've never heard ever,
that,
but he wouldn't agree to look at it two to 3 years down the road. So
I think our point is that you're already looking at it year to year as it is. I don't know what the difference is. Why not go to 16 now? And whether you look at it explicitly or not,
because
you're
you've got the
have to go
leverage,
through there anyway.
but you've got the leverage right now. 3-4 years down the road, I don't think you have that type of leverage. The leverage would then all be in the SEC's court, and the SEC would say, we're staying at 16, which the 16 benefits the SEC more than any other conference.
Yeah, I don't see
I
the
understand it helps the
distinction.
Big 12 and the ACC. I get that. It does get them potentially an extra team in every year, but it overwhelmingly, if you go back and look at the ratings, it overwhelmingly benefits the SEC to go to 16 teams.
Yeah, and like that's the difficulty here is like you basically have no influence if you're the Big 12 of the ACC. You're just along for the current negotiation spat of the Big 10 and the SEC, and that mega sucks.
True.
That mega sucks, right?
That's
like
absolutely true. Yeah.
Like it's insane. Like I mean, every single conference agreed on 16, and the Big 10 will not agree with that based on the reasons that you're saying. I believe you, but just imagine that your school was in one of those conferences. It's like, what? Like, it's, you know how frustrating that is? Like, you're neutered, man. Like,
I don't think it makes
hard to digest.
I don't see as it makes a difference. You have to get through one to get to the other anyway. So why not just get to the one? Every year you're renegotiating this deal as it is. I don't know how that's going to change going forward. I just don't see I don't see a difference. It's a distinction without a real difference, in my opinion, at least. But I get what you're saying, Moen. And hey, look, you and I both we want Petite to get as many teams in there, right? It's in our it's in our favor to get those teams.
Yeah, that would benefit the Big 12 and the ACC even more than.
Well,
the
16 is even better than 12. I mean,
yeah,
sure.
Yeah, I'm with you. I would rather have 24 as well. It's just like, kind of getting down a little deeper into the thinking and trying to understand that for folks, because you absorb it. And like first thoughts are like, it's just kind of like, hey, whose balls are bigger? It's a standoff match and everybody else is just collateral damage.
Yeah,
and it kind of is that way, and it sucks.
It feels like that.
Yeah,
it does.
But I mean, that's something you guys have to take up with your commissioners. Your commissioners.
Look, neither one of us are happy with our commissioner, so
okay.
That's not you don't. We're on your side, Moen. We're not against you, and at the very least, we are at the very most we are actively cheering for Petite getting what he wants. I just don't see it at this point. It seems more it's ego than it is into concrete reasoning, though, because there is no difference from just saying you're going to do 16 versus saying you're doing this game 16 and you may go to 24. To me, they're both through 16, so it doesn't really matter. Anyway. Thank you very much, Stormy. Appreciate your $5 super chat. And I don't think any of us held back. So
Nope. Here, since he called for it earlier, Stormy.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's Greg Flugar going, oh.
Hey, Greg's in the chat. Greg's in the chat.
I appreciate you very much. Let's go to another $5 super chat from the Evil Badger, Ryan Willie in the house, representing the Wisconsin Badgers. $5 super chat. Remember Dexter Manley? He went to college, never went to class, only played football. He can't read or write when he couldn't read or write when he entered the NFL. Dexter Manley has passed away, hasn't he? I think Dexter Manley is passed on. If
I have no idea, but I can name at least two guys that came out of college and joined the Cincinnati Bengals who couldn't read or write.
Who is the other?
So,
I'm not going to name their names, but there were two.
Okay.
There were at least two guys that I know from friends within the organization that had to trace their signature.
Let's give him the Badger sound.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
Give Ryan Willie that Badger sound.
Yeah, go. Let's get
love that Badger sound. Let's see. There's the Evil Badger.
Oh, kind of weird dance there. Thank you, Mo. Appreciate it. C. Curtis in the house, $10 super chat. Thank you so much, C. Curtis. Been a long-standing OG member of the College Football Mafia family. $10 super chat. The issue is the SEC is screwing everyone. The last 3 years have proven the SEC is the arrogant issue and problem. Yet everyone refuses to accept this reality. Who's refusing? I'm not refusing. Are you guys refusing to accept the reality?
No, I accept that reality.
You
accept it.
Yeah, I think we accept around here, C. Curtis. But thanks for the $10 super chat. Helps us keep the lights on around here. You want to give him a sounder there, Moen?
Sure. He's that's an angry super chat, so I'm going to give him. I'm a man.
He is an angry
masculinity right now. I feel the testosterone. I want to go to war. I want a lightsaber! I'm a man!
Okay. Peek around the corner. The Greg Flugar in the house. Good to have you here, Greg. Thanks so much for being here tonight. $5 super chat. Hold the line. Army of 24. Let's get Greg a sounder or two there, Moen.
Okay, let's do a little Mad Dog. I know Greg likes Mad Dog.
MD 2020. Mad Dog. I mean, you could even say that this is like the Kool-Aid Man sweat if he was running the meth lab.
All right. Is that it? You want to give another one? You want to stick?
We can do another one.
Blue raspberry drinkers are the ones that always had the fake ID, could always find fireworks, and knew a tattoo artist who would work out of his van.
That's funny. I haven't heard that. What's that from?
That's a review of Mad Dog 2020 Blue Raspberry.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, I've not heard that before. That's a fun sounder. Appreciate that. Thanks, Greg, for being here. Hold the line. Army of 24, Moen, Ute, and I are all on the Army of 24 train. I don't know that we can affect much change, but we're certainly trying. I've got to go. I've got a date with my wife. I just wanted to get one other thing off for everybody. I really appreciate all that as we kick into our almost 4th year at College Football Mafia. Thank you so much for everything you do for us. We are here for you, and please let us know if there's anything else we could be doing for you. We have long memories around here. I owe swag to Jose and to who's the other one? I've remembered so much I've forgotten already. I know Jose. Oh, Trent Brown. I will get you guys those things. I swear. It's just I don't get out of the house very often, believe it or not. But I will get those to you guys. Anything you guys have for me last before I take off? I just want to say that me and the Voice of College Football next week. Mark Rogers will be having a show, and we'll be asking Bob Thompson a lot of these questions. The OG when it comes to not only realignment, but the way TV looks at college football. And we appreciate him being a friend of the show. Ute or Moan, do you guys have any questions for me before I get out of here?
No, absolutely not. Good stuff.
Moan?
Enjoy your date.
Okay. Everybody have a great night. Stay out of trouble. I'm going to
Mhm.
say 1 week left to go Seahawks. Let's get to the Super
Go
Bowl and beat up
Seahawks.
on those Patriots. And I will see you guys later, okay?
Okay,
All
take
right.
care.
Okay, see you later. Peace out.
See you. Hey, Moan, I'm going to pull up C. Curtis's super chat again, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I got to talk about something that was on my mind after all this stuff that's been happening with like the college football playoff. Look, Army of 24, I'm on it. You're on it. We all want it on this channel and stuff. It makes so much sense. But here's like the bigger thing that's going on that I think needs to happen. Let me share something with you. So I'm just going to read this super chat again, okay? The issue is the SEC is screwing everybody. The issue is the SEC is screwing everyone. The last 3 years have proven the SEC is the arrogant issue and the problem, yet everybody refuses to accept this reality. I believe it. And not only do I believe that, I think that the Big 12 at this point in time, given the lay of the land, where the universes are moving, I believe that the Big 12 needs to make a decision on which universe they're going to revolve around. And that universe, for me, is clear. It's not the Southeastern Conference and everything, all the ego and everything in that area. It's the Big Ten Conference. It's the Big Ten Conference because it's going to be the conference that grows and becomes the ultimate power in college football. What I would love to see is more partnerships at all levels between Big 12 schools and the Big 12 Conference with the Big Ten Conference. And more alignment with everything that both those conferences do, with the understanding that given the current state of things that the Big 12 has much less influence than the Big Ten Conference. Realize that. But I tell you what, the Big 12 still has influence. And I think that this trend of the Big 12 aligning with the SEC needs to change immediately. The Big 12 needs to leave that horse behind and jump on with the Big Ten Conference and have its own basically a voting block. I know you talk about so much in the Big Ten Conference, the different voting blocks, which fantastic stuff that you bring out. Look, there's like your Ohio State, there's your Michigans, your like Minnesota voting blocks and everything. And not everybody has equal say with the votes, but they don't necessarily have equal influence. And
True.
I get that. Maybe something like this arrangement could be, there's not as much influence on the Big 12 side, but maybe you could have a voting block kind of like the Big 10 has with its members.
Now
But
let me ask you a question, you.
Okay.
If Utah was in the Big Ten, would you still favor this?
I would.
Okay.
I would. Because like I think that I think this type of agreement realizes that look, it's you're not on the same level playing field at the moment. And maybe never get there and stuff. Like it's not that acceptance from both parties. It's basically like, hey, it's basically the Big 12 picking the horse they think is going to have the most power in the future and developing deeper relationships to get more scheduling agreements and to get more shared whatever, right? Just get deeper in the trenches with the Big Ten Conference and pull away a little bit from the Southeastern Conference. And like if Utah got in the Big Ten Conference, I would still love to see it because guess what? There's a lot of freaking great folks in the Big 12. I love the people in the Big 12. There's a lot of great schools in the Big 12 too that deserve to have a voice in the room no matter what happens in college athletics. And like Utah doesn't have an invite to the Big 10. I don't know if that's ever coming. So that's just speculation, right? But like the fact of the reality is that the Big 12 needs to really pick its side at this point in time. It's becoming, you really got to make the decision now with all this stuff coming through on which side you're going to lean on. I just think that the Big 10 is the better play right now based on all the trends during the next phase of realignment, being national conference, all the media partners, all the influence will continue to grow. And I want to see Brett Yormark get more entwined with the Big Ten in whatever capacity is possible to develop that relationship. What are your thoughts on that, Mon?
Again, I think here's the thing: you need the Big Ten and the SEC together.
No.
Yes, you do. You do. You need that kind. You need the majority level of influence to achieve anything. You need the Big Ten and the SEC together to achieve their own governance structure. You need it. You can have the Big Ten, the Big 12, and the ACC. It's still not enough. It's still not enough. I would say conservatively, the Big Ten and the SEC are 80% of the pie. And we'll call the Big 12 10% and the ACC 10%. So having 60% of the pie, I know, but having 60% of the pie is not enough to get anything done. And the Big 12 and the ACC have pretty much made their bed that they want to be in line with the SEC. So in order to get everybody on board, it's not about getting the Big 10 and the Big 12 together. It's not about getting the Big 10 and the ACC together. It's about getting the Big 10 and the SEC together. They need to come together, find common ground in order to fix things, for lack of a better term, because things are broken.
I understand that from the perspective of the Big Ten and of Ohio State within the Big Ten. I understand where that thinking comes from, but that is a very scary proposition for everybody else that's not one of those two conferences because of what the threats have already been from the SEC. They clearly don't care about the rest of anybody else. They were threatening to pull away as is. Why in the world would you trust anything like that? That's just
again,
signals, right?
I hear what you're saying, but again, you don't really have a choice. Yeah, I understand what you're saying, and yes, it would be ideal if you did if you had a choice, but you don't have a choice in that matter. You need the SEC on board in order to achieve these things.
Is that okay? How I see college football moving in the future is I see the Big Ten continue to dominate for the reasons we've gone over so much. The SEC will get theirs a little bit, but they'll slowly wean off and lose a little bit more dominance, influence. So I don't think that while those two conferences are on the same playing field today, give it 2 years, 3 years, I think that's going to slowly wane. I really do. And so why not get invested right now? And so it never comes to say, oh, we have to have both these conferences agree, because maybe the Big Ten just dominates that and doesn't need the SEC influence anymore. And the structures change, the voting patterns change because of actually what's happening on the field. Like I would rather go on that bet and then saying, oh, I'm going to trust the SEC and the Big Ten just to do whatever they want and stuff and do it for the good of the game. Yeah, right, man. That's not for the good of the game. It's the good of the two conferences. You're going to pull away for sure, 100%.
They've already pulled. They've already pulled away.
They've not pulled away yet, Moan. It's the same playoff. Everyone's playing still.
You know the best teams from the ACC are going to get poached. Miami's getting poached. Clemson's getting poached. Florida State's getting poached. The Big 12, maybe Kansas, maybe one of the Texas schools, TCU or Texas Tech. These schools are getting poached. This is already, I understand that it hasn't happened yet, but I think it's such an eventuality that you have to accept it. It's like when Thanos says it's inevitable. It's inevitable. The ACC is going to get poached hard, and it's not going to be fun for the ACC. The Big 12 probably survives a lot better. I think the Big 12 benefits from the fact that it's actually operating in areas outside the Big 10 and SEC sphere of influence. The ACC operates entirely within the SEC and Big 10 sphere of influence, outside of the West Coast schools, because, nothing says Atlantic Coast Conference like Stanford or right. Cal. So outside of those schools, but I mean, they're an East Coast school and they're fighting against a Big 10 that wants control of the East Coast, and they're fighting against the SEC that wants control of the Southeastern Coast. So, to me, that's an eventuality. Who goes where, that's to be decided. But Miami's definitely going to get poached. Florida State's going to get poached. Clemson's going to get poached. North Carolina's going to get poached. Virginia's probably going to get poached. I think Georgia Tech's probably going to get poached as well. That's 6
So
schools.
You think it's kind of a moot point then, right? It's a moot point.
I think if I'm the Big 12, I'm sitting back, grabbing what I can grab at the ACC. And if I'm the ACC right now, I'm thinking about how the hell do I backfill and make it successful to keep teams like a Louisville, a Virginia Tech, a Pitt, markets like that. Because I think, obviously, if you're the Big 12, the first thing you want to do is go out there and snatch those markets away as quick as you can. You want to, just like the Big 12 did last time, you want to, instability is your favorite cousin at this point, because instability allows you to eat. That's how the Big 12 was able to eat the Four Corner schools. Instability among the pack.
What good does that do if there's a pull away? Who gives a rat's?
I'm saying there'd be a 3-team pull. I'm saying there'd be a 3-conference pull away at that point.
Okay.
I think you'd have the Big 10, you would have the SEC, and you would have whatever the Big 12 becomes. Whether that's a best of the rest conference or that's just the Big 12 eating 4 to 6 teams from the ACC.
So you don't think the pull away would just be the Big 10 and the SEC, or you think some third entity would be involved?
I think you would have to, because it's about covering the country. The Big 10 gives you the West Coast now, the Pacific Northwest, the Midwest, the Upper East Coast. The Southeast Conference gives you the Southeast, obviously. What about Middle America? You think there's people that don't like playing football in Middle America? Colorado, Kansas, Utah, Oklahoma. I understand you get Oklahoma partially with Oklahoma to the SEC, but there's other parts of Oklahoma. But, I mean, Pitt, Virginia Tech, these are still brands. And they could thrive in the Big 12.
So what does that look like in your view? If there is like, okay, the pull away happens, it's going to be the SEC and the Big 10. You're going to gobble up the schools that you want. Maybe it's 24 each. And then there's going to be a universe in your mind's eye of a rebuilt Big 12 or ACC or best of the rest that's going to be in that same league, playing in that same realm.
Listen, it's not going to be in the same league, but that's never going to happen. You could take the best of the ACC right now, and you're still not going to be able to compete against the Big 10 and the SEC. They don't. They have the population. They have the wealth. It's just, that race is already run. And a lot of people may not like to hear that, especially Big 12 fans, especially ACC fans. I understand that Miami got to the college football playoff championship this year. Congratulations to the Miami Hurricanes.
Right.
The Miami Hurricanes are already looking at where they're going to land. They're not sticking with the ACC. And I understand they made all this money from that revenue deal that Florida State and Clemson sued for, and Miami benefited the most from. I understand that. It's still not going to compare to the amount of money they can make in the Big 10 or the SEC. It just, it isn't. So
let me get one more thought on this. Like, I realize that it's not like apples to apples if that pull away happens with like the third entity, but do you think that the Big 10 and the SEC would still have a playoff structure where that entity's invited? Like,
I do. And I think
they would still
I still think they'd have a playoff structure where the G6 was invited.
So you just have like, what's the point of a pull away then?
Well, it's the governance. It's the governance.
You're already governing everything.
Right. You're not going to govern the G6 schools because you don't need to worry about the G6 schools. It's not like a G6 school is going to go spend $150 million in NIL. If they can afford 150 million in NIL, they will be in one of the power conferences.
Yeah.
Let's say the ACC somehow survives, they'll include the ACC in the deal too.
Like, I don't
But
understand
I don't see the
pull away then if it's going to look the same as far as the playoffs and everything else. Like, what's the point of the pull away? Isn't that just to establish your own universe?
your governance. You can actually govern things and say things and not have to worry about the NCAA and actually have an enforcement unit that has teeth that can actually get something done. You can install salary caps. You can install a CBA. You have your own governance. You can say, hey, this is a CBA that we're all agreeing to. If you can't agree to this, you can't be part of this. And I think the Big 12 would likely agree to that.
Yeah. I mean, they wouldn't have a choice.
Well, they would have a
If they
choice.
wanted to play.
If they want to play, I mean, you're going to have to agree to it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. That's just the way I see it. That's not off any information, but for me, the ACC is going to get picked apart. It's going to happen. It's just, look, I watched what happened to the Pac-12. We never thought that could happen.
Yeah.
I see the signs. I see the symptoms. I see the symptoms in the ACC. And I think they're going to get the same treatment from the Big 10, Big 12, and SEC. I got a $5 super chat here from the Evil Badger. It's something for Nathan. Nathan left. Nathan, the reason why you can't trust the snake is once you get to 16, the SEC would not agree to go to 24. Absolutely right. It's in the snake's nature to bite you. You can't be shocked when you pick up a rattlesnake and it bites you. You knew it was a rattlesnake.
Yeah. I mean, like, I get the thinking. But what if the Big Ten started getting more at-larges in the SEC? Wouldn't it be better for the SEC to go to 24 too?
Sure, if that was
that's assuming that the SEC is going to get all the extra spots, but is that
but that's
really
not the case because of the way the SEC has set up the selection committee?
True?
They basically
That's
put
pretty
through their own rules that benefit the SEC. You're going to see more SEC teams in every single year than any other conference. So
Yeah.
if you go to 16,
Yeah.
the Big 12 gets gets 2 teams in. Congratulations. The SEC goes from getting 5 teams in to getting 7 teams in. Almost half the field would be SEC teams. Thank you for the super chat, Ryan. I appreciate it. We did some. Let's do a little Whoa Nelly.
Whoa, Nelly!
Yeah.
And I promise we're going to get to as many of these comments as we can, guys. I know Nate kind of held us up on the comments a little. We're going to try to get to as many as we can. If you absolutely positively must have it read, it'll have to be a super chat, but I'm going to try to get to as many as I can. Jacobra Cat, Big 12 pining for the big is like a 40-year-old man swiping for 21-year-olds on Tinder. What's wrong with that, Jacobra Cat? The ACC is a newly divorced single mom, perfect for the Big 12. Yeah, there you go.
Dude, that's so savage. That's so savage.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, there you go.
Look, here's how I'd respond to this, okay? It's awesome actually. And it's right on point. I don't think that the Big 12 would necessarily be like you'd go into that by deepening relationships. Like you're not on the same playing field today. And like you might never be in stuff, but can you deepen those relationships and stuff? So whatever happens with the Big 10, like can you build a certain amount of influence that you're just not going to get left in the dust? Because if you got to pick a horse, give me the Big 10.
Yeah, absolutely. The Big 10 has the most population and wealth. I understand that.
Like, and I think that the best case scenario for the Big 12, like if there's such mass disagreement between the SEC and the Big 10 that they can't come together, worst case scenario for the Big 12 is if those two come together and they do their little, if you do the pull away, you're absolutely screwhoused if you're the Big 12.
Here's the thing.
The worst case.
It's like a Republican primary, though, or a Democratic primary where you're at the convention and the guy comes up and says, I'll give you both my delegates. That's what the Big 12 and the ACC joining the Big 10 would do. It's not enough. Their 10% does not equate to, you need the 40% of the SEC. That's what you need. It's not a majority rules.
I mean, it can't be 10% each, Moan. It's a little underselling it.
I think it's what, 17% and 13% is the payoff?
The payouts, yeah.
Yeah. So for right now, now
it's
imagine
a little bit more than that, right?
I think it's 17 and 13.
CFP payouts per conference. Man, yeah.
Thank you for the super chat, Jacobra Cat. I will go ahead and give you what am I going to give you? Well, if this will play.
Let me go deeper than that, you.
But I can go as deep as you want to.
I'm not used to being taken advantage of.
You're killing me, Moan.
Thank you for the super chat, Jacobra Cat.
Moan, so check it out, okay? All right, so here's the payouts. The Big Ten gets roughly 29 to 30%, SEC 29 to 30%, ACC 17, Big 12 15, G6 9, Notre Dame 1.
Okay, so take away 10% for the G6 and Notre Dame.
Yeah, and then like you'd have to reallocate that up. So the Big 12 would have probably like 17%.
So you would reallocate that, and the Big 10 and the SEC would be close to 70%.
Yeah, but you would have 17% still.
Still, it's not enough, It's not enough influence. I get what you're saying, but it's not enough.
Moan, give me something here, my man. Give me something here.
It's not. Sorry, it's not enough influence. Let's get the comments. Mo and the Big Ten and SEC can't even see eye to eye on a playoff format, let alone a structured CBA. Okay. Very well, Sean. What are the odds that a non-G6 champion makes the playoffs? Because the new rule is the highest rated G6 team now. I think it's probably better than not. And I'm going to tell you why. Because there's some G6 brands that are going to get favorable recognition. If Boise State, for some reason, misses the Pac-12 championship or loses the Pac-12 championship, Boise State is still going to get that little boost because they're Boise State.
Boise State, Oregon State, and Wazoo.
Oregon State and Wazoo, I think less so. I think Boise State's a stronger brand than both those brands at the moment. And I don't mean that to offend any Oregon State or Washington State fans, but Boise State was in the playoff, not this past season, but the season before that, and they were one of the top 4 seeds. So Big Ten is the ruler. Don't like it. Beat us. Black Raiders steal.
Utah did beat the crap out of Nebraska. Right? Should we pull up the scoreboard?
You did. You did. You beat the crap out of Nebraska.
Then what now? Huh?
Without their starting quarterback. Their third string quarterback. You beat them.
Hey, all I'm saying is, like, you're going to throw out stuff. Like, Utah just punched a Big Ten team in the face, man.
This is so cool. I figured out how to go from my phone to my big screen. You guys are more colorful. Well, thank you.
Hey, remember the stormy cyclone? Now you can see this better right here.
Yeah.
The toll-free number here for the CSC report. Report, baby. Let's do it.
Black Raiders steal again, says Tamu, Texas, OU, Mizzou were hoodwinked, bamboozled, and lied to. Because SEC teams can't win CFB championships or compete in this NIL era of CFB because everyone is paying players now.
Yeah.
It's no fun when the rabbit has the gun. I disagree because the rabbit really can't pull the trigger. Plus, it's going to be laying on the ground. You don't have to worry about it. And the recoil is just going to drop kick that rabbit about 30 yards. So it'll be fine. Big 24 team, 442 model benefits all of CFB. Thank you. And I think, did we even get to Greg's super chat?
We did, but we can get back into it if you like. Give him the double kudos.
Oh, yeah, right. We did. Sorry.
I'm all good
sure.
with double reading super chats. And if the community is going to support us, we're going to support you.
The Army of 24 is getting some traction, but I don't know if it ever gets to the finish line.
Yeah. 24 is ideal. I mean, I don't know what the Big 12, what are we doing on the 16? I don't get why the Big 12 wanted 16. It's because of this SEC bias. I think that your mark has an SEC bias.
I think your mark wants to suck Greg Sankey.
Don't say it. No.
Snake.
Okay.
It's because next time they go skate the next playoffs, the SEC will want more money than the Big Ten because of past numbers and past playoffs. Again, quantity versus quality. You can make that argument. That's a very easy argument to make when you've basically set up the rules. You have set what the rules are to get in. Strength of record, strength of schedule. And it doesn't hurt the fact that you've got the largest media company in the world doing preseason polls where they put 19 of the top 25 spots occupied by SEC teams. I got another super chat that rolled in here. I want to get down to who are the G6 top 5 football brands? It's a great question.
Hey, wait, before responding to that, let me pull some stuff up because guys, just real talk. We're going to carve the sucker out right here and probably post it tomorrow. This is a great freaking question, Jacobo Cat. Let's just get set up. So, Moan, just jump into another comment, and then we're going to jump on that next. Let me pull some stuff up.
There's only 16 in the SEC. Won't stop them. They'll double list somebody in there, Sean. They'll put Alabama in there at 5 and at 7. It's ESPN. They do what they want. TCU did beat USC with their starting quarterback. It was a hell of a game. Thank you for the super chat, Jacobo Cat. We're going to carve that out, so stay tuned. Mark Bowman, what is the future of conference championship games? For the length of their contracts, you're still going to have them. They're committed to having those conference championship games through 2031. So the Big Ten will at least have them through 2031. But I think if you get to a 24-team playoff, I think conference championships are going away. At least championship games are going away. You're just going to do an on-the-field conference champion, and if you have multiple, just like the Big Ten used to do it, Mark, where you would have multiple Big Ten champions, I think that's what you'll have again. You'll probably have at least 2 or 3 Big Ten champions, depending on how big the Big Ten gets. Thank you for the super chat, Mr. Hawkeye. I will go ahead and play you a little Hawkeye music as soon as I pull it up. And where is Iowa's fight song? There it is. You said there are 19 spots in the top 25. I just said there's only 16 in the conference. I know, but they'll double list them. Like I said, Alabama will be number 5 and number 7. That's the way the ESECPN rolls. And Stephen A. Smith will defend it. He will defend it. He'll come on there and defend it. Miami has always been a CFB cash cow. It doesn't matter what conference they're in. The University of Florida doesn't want them in the SEC for their own selfish reasons. Don't let the sun go down on me, Hoosier Dave. I would hope your Mark has had a conversation with USF if realignment things get carried away. Another Florida team sounds great. Let me see here.
I'm almost there, Mo, and I really wanted to set up a tier maker, but won't have capacity to get that done.
Sure.
That's actually a fantastic. It's a really, really cool question. I've never even thought like about doing a stack ranking of like the top G6 brands. It's worthy of having its own tier maker.
Yeah,
and it really is like I love it.
Bulldog Mississippi's in the house. I like that new profile picture. The ACC's days are numbered. Anonymous Mega Man. We like the big checks. Go Canes. Boy, a lot of Miami fans here tonight. Louisville, North Carolina State, maybe in either Virginia Tech, Syracuse, Pitt, or Georgia Tech for the 4th spot. I think if you're the Big 12, you go to 6 spots. And I know you're taking more teams than you probably want, but you're getting more teams than you actually need. And that's a good thing. The only reason Big 12 Your Mark has to align with the SEC is that due to the Big 12 majority partner ESPN, Big 12 needs CBS TNT to allow for movement away from ESPN's cash and exposure. C. John brings up a great point. Well, what do you think about that?
Say that again.
The Big 12 cannot align with the Big 10 at this point in time because of their agreement with ESPN.
Oh my gosh. It's a good thought. But I think that the fact that ESPN has gone all in on the SEC, I think that you need to kind of move away and start looking for other distribution sources outside of ESPN. So I wouldn't really be too upset about ruffling ESPN feathers because they basically screw the Big 12 all the time anyway, exposure wise. I don't even want them as a partner. And because of the exposure issues with ESPN. So I get it. Like you don't want to like ruin a relationship with a media partner, but they basically mistreat the Big 12 anyway. So do you really want to continue doing business with that? So I wouldn't tread as lightly as you would be treading if you're the ACC because you have to, because that's your only media partner.
John Dry says, pack the ACC. I like this. We're going to coin this phrase, pack the ack. It is now pack the ack. I think the Big 12 isn't siding with the Big 10 because of the Pac ACC alliance. The ACC will be poached next. You're absolutely right. Stephen Pitts says, come on, you. If the SEC invited Utah to the conference today, what would you say?
I don't look, if Utah got in the Big 10 or the SEC, I really don't want to see them pull away. Like Utah's kind of in, they're fine and everything. They're stable. I don't see the point of just screwing everybody else for the sake of it. You don't need to do it. Like you don't. Like I don't want to see that. Like if Utah happened to get a call up to the Big 10 conference, like your schools, like what if TCU didn't get in and stuff, or like a Texas Tech, an Oklahoma State? What if they didn't get in? Those are good schools, quality schools. I don't want to see them totally housed and screwed. I think they deserve better than that. I don't want to see them like a pull away, even with Utah involved in it. I'd rather have like the schools that I've known for a long time, the brands and everything, like in all geographic areas, play each other in the future, just like I've known, whether Utah's in that big club or not.
Yes, because Texas going to the SF for 2 years and finishing in the top 15 has been horrible. Dave here says, I'm just glad I am happier at doing my job than Tom Izzo right now. Michigan must be beating Michigan State.
Okay, Moan. So I just grabbed the schools that are currently in the new Pac-12 and also the American. And like oddly enough, it was kind of hard just to locate all the school names in the Pac-12 in one place. Look, so here at least we have them. Like we can look at them, right? This ain't like too sexy looking and stuff, but I think this is going to be able to answer the question a lot. Really. So let's talk about who are the top G6 football brands. And in my view, they're all coming out of either the American or the Pac-12 conference. And so what you're seeing right here is just a combination of the American and the Pac-12. So let's go. Like, Moan, maybe we should just like go and agree on 1 through 5 if that's possible. Okay.
Okay. Well, first of all, I'm going to ask, are we excluding the academies?
No, I think we need to include them.
Then if you include them, Army and Navy are going to be 2 of your top ones.
Okay.
I'm not going to include Air Force. Sorry. You don't have a game annually and your own weekend every year, Air Force. So Navy and Army, though, they do have, and I know it was the 1940s and 1950s, they do have championship success.
Yeah. I don't know why Oregon State and Wazoo didn't make their way on this game. So I'm saying if you want to put the academies in, then Oregon State, Wazoo, and Boise State. Is that, what do you think? Because we're looking here, like, let's just go down the list and stuff based on what was just compiled. You got Navy, North Texas, Rice, USF. USF would be in consideration. Temple, Tulane would be in consideration. Tulsa, UTSA, ECU, Army, Boise State, Colorado State, Fresno State, San Diego State, Utah State, Texas State, UAB, Charlotte, FAU, Memphis would be in consideration, Oregon State, and Wazoo. You've got about 8.
I would also add, they're not on your list, but I would add Appalachian State.
I don't think so. Do you?
Listen, I know they've been riding that high from beating Michigan for the last 30 years, but hey, man, it still works for them. They've still got some upsets. It wasn't too, was it last season they upset somebody in the top 10? So I think the name holds vibe. But again, I think, what are we going to do? The top 8, top 5, top 12, top 15, top 16? That's got to be your question.
If it's the football brands,
top 5 foot. Listen, okay, then I'm taking the academies out. I'm going to take the academies out.
Is Navy out?
I think Navy and Army
can make the top 5.
I think it's Boise State is the top of the G5s.
Agreed.
After that, I'm going to say Tulane. Former SEC school.
That was like in the 1920s.
Well, 1920s. They've had success. I'm putting Tulane up there. I will give you Oregon State and Washington State.
Okay.
Although I don't want to.
Really? Oregon State and Washington State are certainties, man.
Yeah, but they haven't been in the G6 long enough to develop a G6 brand.
But they're bigger than a G6 brand, and that's exactly why they're the top G6 brands. They might be like, in my view, Oregon State or Washington State are probably number 1. Now that we're talking about this, and Boise's top 3 too.
USF, I would probably put on there as my number 5. And that's because USF has had success when Jim Leavitt was the coach. I think Brian Hartline's going to do a fantastic job down there, especially once he can get in there and start recruiting that South Florida talent. So, yeah, that would be my top 5. I'd put Boise State, Tulane, Oregon State, Washington State, and USF.
I'll put Oregon State number 1, Washington State 2, Boise State 3. Memphis 4, Navy 5. There you go.
Okay. Well, there you have it. We need to flesh that out a little more, though. But great question.
Yeah, we do.
Pat.
We do need to flesh it out more. We
need
got to do a
flesh
true
that
tier
out.
maker for this.
Yeah,
ranking
we
the-
definitely need to.
I think
flesh
that,
it
like,
out
you know,
more.
next week's show, maybe we should just do a tier maker of like G6 brands.
Or maybe we just do a video of it this week.
Yeah.
We'll just shoot a video this week. Hey, look who's here. Vox Quindaro, Super Frog ain't even a frog. Screw TCU. I don't know where that came from. Okay. Yes, sir, Moan. That's how I say pack the ack. Clint Moses says, go Southwest Texas State.
Oh, man. That's what the Oregon State folks are going to do.
Middle Indiana Tonsorial College for the win. I didn't even know Middle Indiana had a tonsorial college.
What?
James Madison. JMU, do you think JMU's done enough to get that? See, JMU and Liberty are upstarts, I think. Maybe Appalachian State's an upstart, too.
JMU is like, yeah, they're only like 2 years in the G6, 3 at most. I mean, I know they made the playoff, but like that doesn't lift you to a top 5 brand in the G6.
Yeah, they're too new. They're too new.
Too new. Riser, the quick riser.
USF, Tulane, BSU, Wazoo, Oregon State, and Shrug.
I like it. Yeah.
I don't even know
Memphis.
that I can put I don't know that I could put Memphis on there.
What?
I mean,
Memphis.
Their football program has been down. Their basketball program has also been down. And that's a big problem.
Well, they're stuck in the American. There's no excitement to be in a, like.
You could have just taken the $250 million and let them in the Big 12. Good shit, Udi, and pity vote by Moen will count. Again, I just don't think of them as a G6 brand. It's not anything personal against Oregon State or Wazoo.
It's a compliment. Yeah.
This all counts on leaving out Army, Navy, and Air Force. Yes. Again, if we include the service academies, you don't leave a lot of room there.
Maybe like the way that we should phrase it, like who has like the most respect? Because like brand, this is true. Like, you know, these.
Well, most respect,
brands,
it's all going to be the naval, the academies.
Like most football, like respect, like football on field respect in today's era, not historically. Like who's the greatest football teams right now?
In
like
the G6.
over the last 5, 10 years, 15 years.
Okay. Well, that's
what I'm thinking.
That's different because at the end of the day, it would be Navy or Army. Because I think Navy and Army do have national championships. They do have Heisman Trophy winners.
Yeah. Yeah, didn't Army have like some wicked good football teams?
Oh, yeah. During World War II or after World War II. The issue is all the good G6 teams are now in the Big 12 and the ACC, and I look for that to continue, Dave. I really do. When the ACC has to backfill, they're going to start pulling USF and Tulane and Memphis and some of these other schools that we've talked about here. Oh, man. A lot of Miami stuff here in the chat, guys. I appreciate you, Miami fans. Make sure if you're new here, you like and subscribe. Mark's Holy Grail says, Moen Petiti does have 50% of the blame. He demanded a guarantee for expansion to 24. That was his part of the blame. The compromise was a move to 14 teams for 2026 and 2027. Again, the 14 team benefited the SEC more than anybody else. And once you go to 14, you have to go to 16. I'm sorry. I'm putting this on Sankey. And call it homerism, call it whatever you want to. Sankey did not want to legally commit to a plan in a massively changing environment before the environment changes. I agree with you, but I think Sankey also knows the environment is changing, Larry. I don't believe that we're operating in a vacuum here. Him and Tony Petitti are both know they're going to pick apart that ACC and grow their conferences and need more slots in a college football playoff.
And it's a year-to-year decision. It's not like you're committing for 20 years.
The Power Four will face monopoly laws. Okay, go for it. Because, I mean, hell, we're letting HBO merge with Netflix. What monopoly laws? Let's see here. Stephen Vick, good to see you, Stephen. This is one reason why football and basketball needed to have legit money-making minor leagues. They had decades to do that and still haven't figured anything out. Mona Bomber, Bomber's not here. Do you guys think the NFL should get involved and have their players association draft a CBA and just completely dissolve the CSC? I think we talked about this a little earlier, Anthony, but yeah, I think the CSC, unless you're giving the CSC teeth, if there's no teeth for the CSC, there's no point in having it. I made the analogy earlier. It's like having a cop that can't arrest people. He shows up at a murder scene and goes, there's been a murder, and points to the wife, and she's holding a bloody knife in the, she's got blood all over her, and it points to the wife, and I'm going to go home and go to bed.
It's so true. Like, you've got the best evidence in the history of mankind, and
it's just overwhelming evidence, and you just have to say, well, my job here's done.
Oh my gosh, what is the point, man? I know.
Becky Go Husky says pretty soon CFL players are going to play college again. UFL. I'm sure we're going to have some UFL guys coming back. There's only a CBA when the powers break away and form their own league. I agree with you there, Sean. Very well. Very well said.
Why? Like, here's the thing too, like with the CBA. Why would the players want a CBA? If you're an elite player right now, do you think that you will make more or less money under a CBA than the current structure? I guess like the if, right? Like you're talking about what, the 1%, the 2% of the best that are getting paid all the bags. Yeah. And the agents all care about that. And so like all the politicking and everything is going to be a lot of pressure against it.
Go Black says it was probably the worst hall monitor ever.
Oh my gosh. So Brian Johnson, like back when I was at the University of Utah, for my undergrad, Brian Johnson, who was a stud quarterback for the University of Utah, he was the offensive coordinator for the Eagles, and now he's with the Commanders, right? Utah's always trying to bring him back home. I remember that, we'd be playing hall games and stuff, and kicking balls around, and you'd have to regulate and stuff, and make sure that there's not too much ball kicking down the halls and everything. I just remember having to do that type of stuff with some pretty good youth players and everything. So yeah, I was a really good hall monitor, actually. Great hall monitor.
He was a great snitch. That's what he's saying. He was a good snitch.
Hey.
Here's a snitch number for you snitches out there. Remember, guys, nobody likes a snitch. You guys need to accept the original intention from the House versus NCAA settlement was that they never wanted any enforcement or for this to work at all. The big Power 2 wants this as their excuse to break away. I don't disagree with
the
that.
Power 2 always wanting to break away. That's like always what's said. I've never heard the power to say, I want to stay and I can make this thing work with everybody else. You never ever hear that. It's always, I'm going to break away. I'm upset. I'm breaking away. Like it's just the threat of everyday threat of college sports.
You make your sevens correctly with the line through. Ricky Tungate likes your sevens. CSC Crime Stoppers College. There you go. That's what CSC stands for. Well, you might as well get McGruff. I like McGruff. The crime dog.
Man, yeah.
Have McGruff take over the CSC. Army and Navy still have been good G6 teams. They have. You have to include, but yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, are we including them? We're taking up 2 or 3 slots of our top 5 if we're including them. Memphis and USF have potential. I think USF more so than the rest. Man, Sean says he's glad he's staying at 12.
I mean, I wish it was just 8. I like 8 more than 12. I hate buys. I despise the buys.
Despise the buys. The SEC is literally the problem, and some defend the cause of the problem. Hey, eat a taco every day. Tuna tastes delicious.
Give him a squawk.
You saying you can't control your bitches?
Pimpin' ain't easy. Oh, sleazy. Pimpin' ain't easy. Pimpin' ain't easy. Pimpin' ain't easy.
How much did Mensa get paid after the Duke buyout and the deal with Miami? I don't know. And I don't think we'll ever find out because they're both private schools. Duke is a private school. Miami's a private school. I don't think you can file a Freedom of Information request to figure that out. I don't know if does CSC actually release the number for NIL deals?
No.
So there's no public way for us to find out. My guess, Miami paid Duke the buyout.
Right.
So they probably paid the buyout. Mensa didn't have to pay anything back. And he's probably getting between 5 to 7 million for Miami.
Yeah, if I had to estimate, let's just estimate here, like 7 million for like the pay for play. But the buyout is about $1 million. I bet it's $8 million transaction for a year of services. So I'd bet that Mensa, given the buyout and everything, is probably the highest paid college football player of all time, given all that considered.
See, that's what these people need to realize. You've got to be you got to just be waiting for that team that's got FOMO. And that was what Miami was. They were fear of missing out. They had missed on all their quarterback targets. Mm-hmm. They panicked. They tampered with Mensa. Mensa jumped in the portal. And Duke got paid. And Miami got their quarterback. Let's see how it works out for them. But I mean, hey, if you think you're just one quarterback away from winning a national championship, which
is Miami, they're going to be as good next year?
I don't know. They were one quarterback away from winning it at the end of the game.
Gee, that was such a boneheaded interception. Such a boneheaded interception. Especially for not having gone to class for 2 years and studying football.
Got to be like a $10 million deal. You're probably close. I think probably Duke probably got $2 million.
You think 2? Yeah.
I think 2. Yeah. I think I read that somewhere that it was like $2 million per year for him for 2 years. So it was a $4 million deal from Duke. So this being his last year, well, if it's that case, they got paid $4 million, I think. I don't know. A shitload of money, if we want to use a scientific term. Dave's here, says it's nobody's business but them. Very good.
It's the CSE's business.
There's a lot of money that private schools don't have to account for. That's absolutely right. Well, they still have to account for it, but they don't have to divulge it.
Well, I think that like this case for everybody, the biggest money comes from collectives funded by rich boosters. They pay more now than ref share, and that's completely outside the bounds of the school. None of that's reported. None of it. And so that's where the most cheating happens too. That's where the CSE can really knock some heads around.
Fate of the ACC network when it's just Boston College, SMU, and Wake. I don't think you're going to have an ACC network. And if you do, it's going to be like the ACC network on Samsung Smart TV. I don't think it's going to be on a cable channel. It would just be ad
What kind of ratings
supported.
does that sucker get, you think?
It would have to be ad supported. Thank you for the super chat, sir.
Moan is using and abusing us.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think everything's mowing.
Every faucet in my house is mowing. Everything is mowing.
Do you think that we'd get the rights to distribute any Boston College games and that on the College Football Mafia YouTube channel?
We could probably get the rights. I just don't know if I want to eat that many Cracker Jacks. All right. Anything else you want to finish up? We're going to finish up the show for the evening.
No, I love the conversation. Real talk tonight and everything. We're going to do a tier maker, though, whether it's a video, maybe next weekend on Big Freaking Friday. I think that is a great topic. The best brands, football dominance, however we want to define it for G6. Absolutely.
And here's a question for the road. Where would 2022 Oregon State rank in this year's Big 12 season standings?
Yeah, that Oregon State squad from 2022 was nasty good. They had a really good line, like offensive line, running game, nasty defense, good weaponry. Quarterback was kind of average. I would say that that's a Big 12 contender. I would say they're top 3 ranked in the Big 12 and possibly winning the conference this year.
Very well. Very well. All right, guys. Well, I will see you on Sunday night for an episode of Mowing After Dark. And then again, just as a reminder, on Tuesday or Wednesday, to be determined, Nate will be joining up with Mark Rogers to do an hour-long interview with the Godfather, Bob Thompson. Check that out. I'm sure we'll get some juicy answers there. And we will catch you here next Friday. Same College Football Mafia channel, same College Football Mafia time. And until then, peace out.